Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Commander's Eye view. This time we'll be in the Matilda tank. If you see my other video featuring the KV2, it was a big tank with a big gun, and it's got a very slow reload speed. This, on the other hand, is a little bit different. I'll be playing with a slightly smaller gun, as you can see, but it's got a very quick reload time. It's got just over a second reload time, I think. Now, this game itself, I will show you how something like this tank can be put to good use. If you've seen any of my Garage Rundown series, you'll know that the Matilda tank is very, very well armoured. The armour on it is just as good as a heavy tank one tier above. So this means, as you can, well, at the very top of the match there, the tier ratings, it's a tier 4 tank, but I'm at the top of the table, which means either all the tanks are as good or weaker than me. This means I don't actually have to worry about cover an awful lot, and I'm going to show you a little bit on how you can use the Matilda tank and its near invincible status in order to gain the advantage over the enemy. Now, this A20 is a light tank. It can be quite vulnerable, and this SU-85B can be quite vulnerable as well. The armour isn't that great. As you can see, it's taking a lot of hits. However, my Matilda tank is a lot better at coping with the demand.
We've damaged them.
Now, I've just planted 2 shots into that SU-85B over there. One into that Stuart tank that seems to be just standing outside in the middle of nowhere. And that is quickly dispatched. I managed to get the final shot on that. That's the first kill of my game. That SU-85 is just standing there. I managed to miss that shot, which could have ended the SU-85B as well. Now this Covenanter just here around this rock is a little bit pesky. But as you can see, I'm in no cover whatsoever. I'm not taking cover, I'm not doing the peekaboo thing like these guys. So what I need to do is, I'm kind of partly responsible for making sure the enemy's seen. This A20 is acting as a spotter at the moment. It's coming out, and it's, again, it's kind of standing there, which isn't, I wouldn't advise it for a light tank. But this Covenanter and this T28 down here giving me problems.
Enemy armor is hit. That one bounced.
Now I managed to get 2 shots into that T28. One of them bounced, unfortunately. Now it looks like that Covenanter just destroyed our SU-85B. So it's still been quite a threat. Now it just hit me with a shot, as you could have seen.
Crack hit.
But it actually managed to bounce off, which means it didn't have enough penetration value to go into the metalwork. And another shot has just bounced. I've angled myself in such a way so the enemy sees me like that. And as you can see, these little pock marks just at the front of the tank there, and one on the right hand side as we see it.
Enemy armor is hit.
Those 2 were bounced shots because they didn't hit with such a way that it could actually pierce my armour, which is good. The Matilda tank is very good for that. So they keep trying to come around this corner. Now I'm sniping this Grant at the moment. It's popped itself out a little bit. And all I'm doing is simply just standing here, taking shots. I did take 1 big shot from the SU-85B on the enemy side earlier in the game, and that was pretty much the only devastating shot I've taken yet. Now let's look at the scoreboard. We've got 4 left, as opposed to their 6. So we're at a disadvantage. Me being the only person who's killed anything, again, quite a disadvantage. I've not got a lot of kills, but I have actually been contributing quite a little bit to this part of the flank. Nothing's managed to get through because I've refused to have been blown up. This is partly just because the armour is so good. Now we can see 4 enemies closing in on the map. This T28 is going for an adventurous run.
Penetration.
And it stood there.
We've damaged them.
And it's just standing there.
Enemy armor destroyed.
I managed to take out that T28 and the Covenanter as well. leaving this flank entirely open, which is good for me. Now I turn my attention to this Grant here, which I was tussling with before. This Emperor Stuart, as you can see, is taking lots of hits. And down it goes. The Grant has just destroyed it. So I'm just using the gun's high reload speed, picking away at it bit at a time. Now psychologically, if you get hit with a gun, it doesn't necessarily matter if you do any damage. The fact that you've been hit is more than enough to actually scare the enemy. Now what I'm doing here is angling my armour. It's called side scraping. And I'm putting myself in such a way that if anything tried to hit me from where my crosshairs is pointing down there, it wouldn't have much luck. But as you can see now, on the map has just appeared, this Matilda tank has started to become quite a threat. So I need to quickly head down there, especially since they've taken out my only ally in the game, leaving me the only one left on the team. If they manage to cap in that green circle on the map down by the bottom left, they will win the match. So I'm going to need to run away. That Su-85B who I hit before, that was the one that planted the shot into me. Now here's another Matilda.
Enemy armor is damaged.
Luckily, I seem to be able to know where to hit. Either that, I'm getting insanely lucky. I plant them into the turret, just on the turret ring between the turret and the armor itself. And I just take out that Su-85B that's unwittingly turned the corner. Now, there's two quick dispatches there. I've got my right track has been damaged, and I've got about just under a third of my health left. Now this Grant, it seems, has already been tracked by the looks of it, and I'm getting lots of helpful instruction from my teammates as well on what to do with the situation. Kill Grant usually is the advice. Now he's trying to point me in the direction of where he thinks the tank's going to be approaching from, and there it is. I take a first shot and miss, I take another shot and hit, and I take a third one just on the fly. Now the problem with the Grant, it's a very high vehicle, but the gun is very low, which means if you're going over the top of a hill, you need to expose quite a lot of yourself before actually getting a shot off. So I think he tried to peekaboo up the top there, but decided against it. Now my tank is fairly slow, so I've got to commit. If I want to go down a hill or up a hill, I've got to make sure that that's the right decision, because it could cost a lot of difference. Now that's where the Grant disappeared to. I'm pulling back a little bit because I don't want to just go straight down the hill. My teammate's pointing out that it might be another area. So what I'm going to do is assume that he's actually waiting round that corner. Of course I can't see him because you know, the line of sight hasn't been established. He's close enough, but this is just how the game works. It's a balance mechanic. And here he comes up the top. He plants one big shot into me,
Gotcha.
and one into him as well. So I ended the game there with 6 kills. I picked up a good few medals as well. And that was probably the most successful game I've had in any tank. This is why I love the Matilda so much, just because it is very good to play, especially when you're the top tier of the game. So that concludes the matchup with the Matilda tank. Actually one of my favourite tanks, simply because it's very well armoured, and if it's the top tier in a particular match, it can actually do very well. That's probably the most successful game I've had. So with that, I shall leave it there, and until next time, I'll be playing something else. Bye!
We've got an old machine with a front and a back and an in between. It goes up and down, if you know what I mean. It's the funniest thing you've ever